Throughout my YouTube career, I do get these same questions all the time. Will you do a build video on Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4? And I'm like, how do I do that based on each season? So this is what I've kind of came up with. Each season will unlock a pool of jutsus. So if we're on Season 1, you will have free and Season 1 jutsus. If we're on Season 2, you will have Season 2, Season 1, and free jutsus, and so on. I want to acknowledge that some people will buy Season 2, but not Season 1. So just pick and choose some of the builds and ask questions in the comments if you don't understand something, because this is a really hard concept to pull off. I'm not one of those content creators that are going to bore you with a bunch of cinematics. Let's get right into the video.
I lost gang members, I can't act cool. I got gang scriptures in my tattoos. I was running from the police in my trap shoes. Posted trying to flip 100, I come back.
Here's your first build for attackers. We're gonna go ahead and use wood style wood dragon jutsu. Now you can grab this from the Hashirama DLC. Don't worry though, I'm gonna show a little bit of gameplay of this build and teach you how to use it. But next up is Leaf Rising Wind, and you can get that from the Rock Lee VR Master. Shadow Clone should be already in your base game. It's a 25-second cooldown and it subs you pretty far, so that allows you to get further away from the opponent that's trying to kill you. So this ultimate is pretty meta at the current time. It's Rasen Flash Super Circle Dance Howl Stage 3 from the Minato DLC. I know a lot of people have vendettas against Chakra Claws, so if you want to use the regular claws, I highly recommend it. I go with the kunai for my Season 1 build, and here are my stats. Now, don't look at the Inoki pants and be like, what are you talking about? Just use these bottom skills and top skills for whatever. Wood Dragon simply puts out a Wood Dragon, but a lot of people mess it up. Make sure you are either pretty close and combo into it, or you need to make sure you're aligned with it. But if you do hit it, you get rid of their jutsus and also get a little bit of health back. So Leaf Rising Wind does an upwards kick that allows you to combo into it, and it will break guards, so you need to watch out for that as well. Level 3 is a tricky ultimate. If you do multiple hits, you most likely will kill your target, but if they knock quickly, they will not die. If they have a defense boost, they won't die, and so on and so on. Here is our Season 1 defense build. Now this one's a little bit harder. Dragon Flame Bomb from the Hiruzen DLC. Now we're gonna go with Uchiha Flame Formation from the Obito DLC. Now you can grab the Water Clone from Kasame, but you might be thinking, why Water Clone? I like it for its lowering the defense effect for a Season 1 build. Rosary Bondage Jutsu is also from Kasame. It's a great ultimate and it's a 2-star duration. Highly recommend that you do get the Hashirama Longsword. If you get Hashirama in your Season Pass, you will have that. Also, I would go with the Blast Bombs, or if you have the Cooling Breeze or any ninja tool, go ahead and throw that on as well. Definitely do First Blood, but the bottom skill is really up to you. I like to use Max Health, and Accessory skills also up to you. So in the recent patch, they kind of made Dragon Flame Bomb a little bit nerfed, but they do shoot you farther, and that's gonna help you protect your team a little bit better. Uchiha Flame is actually one of my favorite jutsus, and not because it looks so cool, but listen, it actually will boost your defense after it breaks, and also you can do a charge attack that will make you break your Uchiha Flame and do more damage on your charge. Rosary Bondage Jutsu will actually keep a lot of people in place, lower their defense, and it sets up team ultimates, or you can just combo people because their defense is so low, but they will also be taking a burn over time, or if you want to say drowning over time. If you're looking for combat healers and you only have the Season 1 DLC, I'm sorry, this is not going to be the video for you, but we're going to use Heavy Boulder Jutsu, which you get after you play a certain amount of games in healer. If you want to be a support type or a heal type, you need to get Cellular Extraction. Now this is from the Sakura VR Master. We talked a little bit about Shadow Clone earlier, but Shadow Clone allows you to sub further away from the enemy trying to kill you, which is nice for healers. If you're running a Pitfall map, Feather Illusion from Kabuto is your best bet, but if it's a non-Pitfall map, use Long Distance from Tsunade. If you only have the Season 1, I highly recommend that you check out the Ninja Swords and a lot of combos on YouTube for it. I know some people in their builds like to get a little fancy, but the Healing Seal Type 2 is a burst heal that is too good not to put in. Now I do have a very special healer accessory that was in the shop a while ago, so I recommend that you do once in a million for all your healers. Heavy Boulder is a jutsu that will stun your enemies and make them slow, but it boosts your defense and also breaks their guard, so it's like a 3-in-1 special. Cellular Extraction is a burst heal that will heal you and all your allies in range and get rid of negative status elements. Not only will Feather Illusion make everybody Pitfall, it'll get rid of their substitutions, their ninja tools, and their jutsus. Let's say you haven't played Shinobi Strikers in a while, or you're new. Fire Style Flame Bomb just got a huge buff that allows you to multi-hit it. Now to this day, Majestic Destroyer Flame is still the best ranged jutsu, and that is from the Madara DLC. All the Season 1 builds need to have Shadow Clone. Now this one you can switch out for whichever one you're comfortable, because I know a lot of people do struggle hitting this jutsu. It's Totsuka Blade from the Itachi VR Master. Grab your your Kusanagi sword from Orochimaru, the combos are delicious. Now you may have the urge to put on Demon One Shuriken, don't put on Sinbon. All right, make sure you do copy paste all these skills. I'm highly recommending them. So how the new fireball works, or the new patch for it, allows you to multi-hit it many times. I've seen people do it up to 30. Now Majestic Destroyer Flame does a bunch of damage, and afterwards it does do a burn over time, but it's a subtle one. Also will break guards, break water pillar, break sand shield. Also, I highly recommend that you do use Sinbon again with the ninja tool damage, because look at the damage with one Sinbon. It's absolutely ridiculous, my guy. Make sure your enemy has no substitution. When you light attack into the Tosca, you will have a second chance to hit a wave of Tosca, which can take out many targets. This might be a weird setup, but I feel like if you do have the Season 2 DLC, your skill set's probably limited, and I call this the no thumbs build, which is Octohug from Killer B. Now we do have Might Guy's dynamic entry. Shadow Clone is probably the best for Season 2 as well. We're going with Minato's DLC again, Rasen Flash Super Circle Dance Howl Stage 3. Goodness gracious. I get it, you guys have vendettas. Use whatever weapon you want. I recommend that you use the claws if you don't have chakra claws. I'm using kunai, but if you use paper bomb kunai, and if you have that, use that. Pretty much all the attack builds will have this same skill, so I highly recommend that you do copy paste them. This doesn't take a lot of talent, and it will close the skill gap quicker than any other build. Octohug resets your combos, gets rid of super armor, and seal substitution. Dynamic entry is a punishing jutsu that does a lot of damage, but also will raise your defense and break those sand shields and water pillars. Also, you can set up your level 3 with your Octohug and just go crazy with it. Now, I will always recommend that you do have Uchiha Flame on, but I want to break out of the norm here with Demon Hunter from the Zabuza DLC. Snake Thrust is a great jutsu from Mitsuki. It's one of the best BR masters to use for defenses. Water Clone will not sub you very far, but it will lower the defense of people it hits. Hit and Miss jutsu is the meta for all defense builds from the Zabuza DLC. Use your Hashirama longsword, learn the longsword combos. I'll put some type of combo tutorial up in the right hand corner for you guys. Highly recommend that you do check out blast bombs, but if you have any ninja tools, do that as well. Here are my skills. I recommend First Blood and boost max health on your bottoms. Demon Hunter allows you to charge your enemies, do a slashing animation that allows you to get a little bit of health back, also gives you super armor. Snake Thrust is also a jutsu that will give you the health back of your enemies, but it will break water pillar, sand shield, and people's guards. So hit and miss jutsu boost your speed tremendously, attack, chakra jump, all the great stuff, but allows you to basically lock their subs up and they are unable to see with a slow of their movement and tracking ability. Our healer jutsu gets a bit of a buff here with Lighten Boulder from the Inoki DLC. Don't forget about cellular extraction from the Sakura VR Master. You can mix this up with long distance healing or feather illusion depending on the map. So a lot of people like to use Lighten Boulder because it boosts your secret technique and also makes you incredibly fast, and that's great to chase down people. So when you and your allies take a bunch of damage, you can use cellular extraction for a burst heal to heal all that off. Long distance healing is summoning the slugs to everyone on your team, and you're able to still move while healing. So our ranged build is Inferno style Flame Lightning from the Sasuke Boruto DLC. Also, we have Majestic Destroyer Flame from the Madara DLC. Crystal Ice Mirrors for Season 2 is also a good substitution, but I recommend Shadow Clone. Nokami from the Sasuke DLC is a highly recommend here. Sasuke's Ninja Blade has the same combos as the Kusanagi combos. Don't forget to use Sinbon for this build because we're going to be using lengthened status elements and boost your max health. So we're going to use our Sinbons after we pull Flame Lightning. Flame Lightning uses a universal pull into a Black Thorn effect that has Inferno style that will do a lot of damage, but it lowers their defense, so that Sinbon spam right after does a lot of damage as well. Majestic Destroyer Flame is still the biggest damage producer for all ranged jutsus. Nokami has a special effect. If you don't kill your enemy, you will put a burn effect on them that will lower their defense and burn them. You must have Uchiha Shuriken as soon as you enter Season 3 from the Shisui DLC. Dynamic entry is also an important jutsu for us in Season 3, even though it's a Season 2 DLC jutsu. Swift Step is one of the best substitutions in all of Shinobi Striker. Next up, we have Kodo Matsukami, which is a genjutsu that is used by the Shisui DLC as well. And for your hatred of chakra claws, I'm going ahead and recommend that you use claws again and use a kunai. If you have the paper bound kunai, use that. Here's those skills. use whatever you'd like. Uchiha allows you to gain a super fast momentum that gives you attack speed, evasion speed, and tracking speed, but also can seal up enemies' jutsus and their substitution. But we can't forget about dynamic. It does pack a punch, gets rid of water pillars and sand shields, also boosts your defense tremendously. So the first stage of Kodo allows you to sub whatever sub gauge you have there, and it's like basically another Sharingan that lets you substitute and go super fast as well. And after you pop that second activation, you will allow your teammates to get a little substitution too and reverse the controls of everybody in the lobby, which is kind of cool. One crutch to the next, Hazan Strike from the Neji DLC. Second, we have Uchiha Flame from the Obito DLC. Swift Step is not very good on defenses, so I recommend Multi-Shadow Clone from the Naruto DLC. Use the Hit and Miss Jutsu from the Zabuza DLC. Also recommend that you use the Hashirama Longsword for your weapon. Maybe you should look at any ninja tool that you want to use. I recommend Blast Bombs or Lightning Tool or Cooling Breeze. Boost your Secret Technique and max health and whatever else you want for your accessory. So Hazan Strike is a jutsu that will thrust into your opponent and take away their substitution and leave you a split second to go ahead and combo it up. We've talked about Uchiha Flame before, but we know if it gets knocked off of you, you can actually get a boost to your defense and you can thrust into it and give more damage to your attack. Hit and Miss Jutsu gives you a slew of buffs, but we like that it does get rid of their substitution and slows them down where they cannot see as well. We'll be doing a universal build here with the Water Pillar, and this is from the May DLC. We've talked about cellular extractions from the Sakura VR Master. Shadow Clone allows you to sub far away so the enemy can't kill you. So now we have long distance healing. I recommend this for a base, but if you want to switch it up and go Feather Illusion for a flag, I highly recommend it. Your weapon should be based on what you are proficient with, but I do recommend that you do the Ninja Sword. Don't forget that heal tag. It's essential. Here is the stats that I'm working with. Let me know what you think down below. Water Pillar actually will shoot up your enemies and allow you to control a base until it's broken by whatever means. Cellular Extraction again is a burst heal, and it allows you to get rid of negative status elements and heal your allies. Don't forget long distance healing allows you to heal all your allies wherever they are. There's not too much difference from the Season 2 DLC from this one other than Kamui Shuriken and Swift Step. Changing it up here, we're going to be rocking with the Shisui Katana. We are going to be rocking Senbon, and I'll tell you why. We're going to be boosting our ninja tool damage and also boosting our max health. So with Shisui Katana, we're allowed to throw a fire kunai with our heavy attack that basically blows up on contact. Also, don't forget our major jutsu here, Flame Lightning, that allows you to pull people into the Black Thorns and then lower their defense. Majestic Destroyer Flame again is our major difference here with a powerful fire attack. Don't forget Kamui Shuriken that throws out shurikens that will teleport their enemy away. So next up, we do have Uchiha Shuriken from the Shisui DLC. We have the Sharingan from Kakashi VR Master. Time Space Hop got a recent buff that allows you to have a cooldown effect after you substitute. So Sharingan will allow you to have 2 substitution for this time space. I also recommend that you use Shadow Clone Explosion. We're basically a third jutsu that does explosion damage and quite a bit of damage. I highly recommend that you do use level 3 from the Minato DLC. I'm going to be using Chakra Claws, Paper Bomb Kunai as well. I'm also using Lightning Speed and Boost max health. Uchiha Shuriken, once it's placed, allows you to grab it again and seal people's jutsus, but it gives you a credible speed boost. With Sharingan, you're able to substitute with whatever you have as your substitution. With level 3, you're able to rip through your opponents, most likely killing multiple targets. We're going to try to pitfall people with this build. Hazan Strike is from the Neji DLC. So Snake Thrust from the Mitsuki VR Master is our next jutsu. Time Space is just too good with the cooldown effect of the recent buff. Hit and Miss Jutsu from the Zabuza DLC. Of course, we're going to go with the Hashirama Longsword again. Of course. I do recommend that you do check out a Lightning Release, or if you have any other ninja tools, use those. But if you have the Blast Bombs, use those as well. Boost your Secret Technique and get that maximum health. I have the Kage Masa bottoms on right now. Hazan Strike has amazing tracking that will take away substitution from anyone you hit. With the Snake Thrust, you are able to push people away and break their guard and such, and pitfall them if they get a hard knock. Hit and Miss Jutsu gives you a slew of speed boost and allows you to track way better, but it allows them to not be able to sub. They lowers their speed and they can't see through the mist. This is one of my personal favorite builds of all time for Season 4 Yasaka Beats from the reanimated Itachi DLC. Sakura VR Master, Cellular Extraction. Time Space Hop on this build is pretty essential because Yasaka Beats is a 22-second jutsu. One of the most broken ultimates in all of Shinobi Strikers is Izanami from the reanimated Itachi DLC. Your weapon really doesn't matter. You kind of pick whatever you want, but I do recommend that you do use Boost Secret Technique and Max Health on your close for this. So Yasaka Beats is summoning a Susanoo and then throwing the beads at your opponent. Cellular Extraction gets rid of any negative status elements, and it's a burst heal for all your allies. So Izanami on the first stage will just take a record of where everyone is, and then, you know, the crows get summoned until the second phase, where things get a little bit interesting, where everybody is stunned. You get your health back, you get your jutsus back, but they lose their substitution, their jutsus, and their ninja tools. Do not forget Chikashoto from the Nagato DLC. Now we have the Majestic Destroyer Flame from the Madara DLC. Time Space Hop is gonna be essential to get Chikashoto right. Now we have Kamui Shuriken, which is from the Kakashi DLC. Put your Kusanagi sword on and focus on your combos with the Senbon, because what is essential is the ninja tool damage boost, and I like to run the Kage Masa bottoms. Chikashoto summons the Great Chameleon. That allows you to get a fat majestic damage boost here. Now that's almost a one-shot. Now we're going to use our Senbon that has been boosted here, and you can see the damage done. But we sub here, and we're going to get our Chikashoto and majestic almost at the same time, so we can spam it again pretty quickly. And don't forget that Kamui Shuriken. We know what it does. I hope this helps some of you guys. I know it's a little confusing, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.